is Toronto's own AeiS. Going for double gas there himself. Both players actually are. So could get a little bit of a tech opening for both of them. AeiS 2 on one, 3 on the other, going for the cyber core on the other side of the map. We have actually the same configuration, 2 on one, 3 on the other, which you don't see that commonly actually. So okay, AeiS now going up to the full 3, and full 3 now for doohickey. So whatever they're doing is going to be fairly gas heavy on both sides of things here. But we're going to get fairly mirrored openings up until this point, probably up until the actual tech choice is made past the cybernetics core. Neither player is like saving up excessive amounts of chrono boost or anything like that. AeiS using his to chrono boost out the first mothership core. As the cyber finishes on the other side, we're either going to get a tech or a similar thing. And it is going to be a Twilight Council being put down behind doohickey's base. There is still a probe in there, which could scout in this period of time, is going to come around. It looked like he was going to juke back, doesn't actually go far enough to see that. I don't believe, no. And so will not get a chance to get that scout off. On the flip side of things, we have a Stargate in AeiS's base. AeiS's base. Saw the sign. And Twilight Council is now done. And we get the Dark Shrine immediately coming down in doohickey. So he's actually pretty lucky that that probe did not just kind of turn around and go take a look at that. However, there is a proxy pylon coming down for AeiS, and the mothership core is now sneaking in along that corner. And it's currently on a flight path to go directly into harass probes, but he's going to see the Dark Shrine before it is complete. So if he makes an Oracle and actually keeps it at home for detection, he's going to be perfectly fine from that point on. A Stalker is repelled at the ramp entrance there. A robotics facility coming down for doohickey as the single mothership core comes in. He's got one kill on him already. Getting more probes here, waiting, and then recalling back once he's done to save his own life. The Oracle, having seen that, of course, is just staying home with the army here. Proxy pylons are up from doohickey, but obviously he has been spotted. That has been seen. Doohickey is going to expand behind this, so maybe he, knowing that, will not actually commit too much, and it looks like it is just a single Dark Templar that's going to be coming in. Poke at it, make sure that he did actually defend himself. In this case, though, he did. We'll be kind of wandering at the front here. Oracle has to be turned on. He did actually pull the DT back to try to escape. He probably could have just killed the... Well, he definitely could have just killed the Stalker, which at least if you know you're going to lose the DT at that point, just might as well. Oracle is now going to make his way into the... towards the base, at least, of doohickey. He's going to have a photon overcharge ready for him, as well as a few units, but he will likely get in and at least see that the second Nexus is coming down. Timings are fairly similar, one to the other, only about a 10-second difference between the two at this point. And AeiS going for a robotics facility, obviously to get slightly longer detection, and the Oracle does fall. It was fairly well prepared for, as of course he knew that existed too. There is another Oracle out on the map, but, well, not really out on the map. It's just in the main base of AeiS, but it is, I guess, on the playing field. As an observer comes up, verifies that AeiS has an expansion in that spot too, and both players are just kind of stabilizing where they are. AeiS continuing to make Oracles here, though, and is still rallying them down. He's going to send this one towards the natural base of doohickey and perhaps catch that a little unguarded. And a nice thought there, at least, he poked in with another DT at the front of the ramp, figuring that given that he killed the Oracle, maybe there wasn't going to be another one there. There actually is, so the DT did die, but still not too big of an investment to make to at least take a shot at that. Oracle coming into place here at the natural, will swing in. and go after, so he actually just comes closer so that he can see him. He wants to give him fair warning. The probes are pulled away here as the beam is turned on, getting 3 kills. And then we'll just completely back out there as the second one swings into the main base, targeting down individual probes, and with 2 probes killed, we'll back out there still alive. Oracle could try and revisit the natural, but Mothership Core is now covering that, so we'll be short-lived with the photon overcharge. Wants to get out. Is cutting through range a little too long there. Takes some hull damage, but does still make it on out. And a fair bit of harassment done throughout that. I mean, in total, between the 3 oracles that we've seen and the original Mothership Core harass, which actually picked up, I forget, 2 or 3, there have been, I guess it was 3, there have been 11 worker kills so far, but there's also been a fairly large investment into this to get those kills. The Oracle coming back a little too early and will be taken out, as that photon overcharge does actually extend all the way to the end of the map. Oracle swinging in from the main base, photon overcharge now down. He could come in and just kind of suicide for another couple kills, but would likely be taken out at this point. There is a cannon in place there as well, and this Oracle will come in to range of that, getting 2 more kills, backing on out. Fairly decent control, but he's a little bit trapped where he is at this point. Hallucinated Phoenix taking a peek at what's going on in AeiS's base. He is taking a 3rd at this point, as his opponent may be thinking of moving into as well. Few Immortals and Stalkers coming on out, pushing across the map to where there are a couple proxy pylons already down. Oracle will sneak back into that main mineral line. Photon cannon is coming down, but is not actually done yet. And that single Oracle does have 10 kills at this point, which is pretty good given how well it's actually been defended. He's just bounced in and out, being patient and trying to pick up 1 or 2 at a time. AeiS now attempting to establish cannons, gas at that 3rd base as the army of doohickey lingers on the outside. Oh, a big probe transfer here now. He doesn't want to lose that, but there is really no AoE. The force field not really working due to the Colossus. Good force fields on the other side, actually trapping this Oracle in a really weird position. One of the Oracles does fall before the other one is even really firing. Nice pullback of that damaged Colossus, and GG is called as doohickey realizes that this 3rd base is getting completely established while his had not even been started. So AeiS taking game number. Hello, we are here on Overgrowth, and remember how I was just talking about cheesing? Both of them have sent out a probe very early on here. Both of them have actually missed each other, despite, actually not despite the fact, but because of the fact that doohickey checked both towers, they missed each other on a path that they would have passed one another. But down here on the bottom left-hand corner, sending out an early probe is from RNG doohickey. Down here, promoting, or up here, promoting his own Twitter on the top right-hand side of the map, giving a shout-out to Deadly Gaming 0, another great player, is Mr. Anthony. It is Imperative Gaming's AeiS. He is putting down the proxy gateway here, and another gateway is coming down on doohickey's side of the map, or not doohickey's, on AeiS's side of the map, doohickey's gateway on AeiS's side of the map. Both of them at the same probe count, both of them at 12. But doohickey is getting the gas. I don't think AeiS is. And this could be, oh no, he is going to do it. So both of them are doing the 1-gate variant here as opposed to a proxy 2-gate. This can be really, really, really interesting because the control of a single stalker or 2 can, and probably just 1 if they kind of obliterate each other, can make a really big difference. Doohickey going for the 2nd gateway. Doesn't look like there is one for AeiS. He is just going for the 1-gate variant of this. We'll see how this does play out. Cybercore coming down now for him. the cyber core is being built in position for doohickey. So as AeiS comes in and scouts what is going on, he'll see that, oh, my opponent is basically doing the same thing I'm doing, but he is doing it with one more gateway. Noticing that, obviously, now is AeiS. The Zealot coming in right away, wants to get in a good position to attack these probes, does get into the spot he wants to be as he's going after them. Both of them have to now consider mining time versus killing probe time or killing Zealot time. As a second Zealot swings in here, the economy definitely looks to be in favor of AeiS at the moment, as a Zealot is going to be a lot later coming for doohickey. AeiS trying to basically, he just wants this mineral line not mineable at the moment, which is really the important thing here. However, a single stalker coming out on doohickey's side, one stalker coming out on AeiS's side, these two stalkers really are going to be the big key here for this entire game, really. And as the stalker comes in, there's really not enough probes, unless he like totally walks into it, which maybe he is. There's not really enough probes to actually surround this by force. Good targeting down to the weakened probe. He's maybe thinking he can, I think he's just distracted at the moment, but he does actually have to pull, okay, good. I was going to say have to pull the stalker back. If he loses that, he can actually be in a pretty bad position. But yeah, both doing the same thing. AeiS doing the 1-gate variant of it. doohickey doing the 2-gate, obviously. And we are back here with a non-crashed game, and we are now on Dead Wing here as Anthony. I like that he, instead of like putting like the @ and then what his Twitter is, he actually like gives you the URL of Twitter, which is way stupider. But yes, big shout out to Ryerson CSL. Good people, good people. They're so close to my heart. Up here on the top, wait, not close to my heart, my apartment. That's what I mean. Up on the top right-hand side, we have from Team Imperative Gaming. It is our blue, our teal, our lightest blue, our kind of non-committal blue Protoss player. It is AeiS. And down here on the bottom right-hand side from Team RNG, both of these teams feature a sword going through something. It is our red Protoss player, doohickey. Both of them obviously open pretty similar so far. Gateway, gas, you're never really going to see a difference in that, unless, of course, you're both proxy gating, as we saw in the previous match, which felt so long ago. But yeah, normal stuff so far, both going for that 2-gas style again, though. And again, we'll have to wait and see whether or not they put 3 guys on each, 2 on each, what it is. Doohickey going for the 3 each on his end of things, and we've got AeiS going the same way. So both of them going to be fairly high-tech in what they do. A scout for doohickey going off, looking around the base, trying to make sure everything is kosher, everything's cool. It looks like AeiS has actually not sent out a scouting probe at all yet. He's got one that is just now leaving his base after taking a swing around, checking for proxy pylons, anything like that. Doohickey does get a sense of what's going on, the double gas, everything like that, which is quite helpful. And AeiS is going to be scouting in the right direction first, maybe tipped off due to the fact the scout timing on the other end. Of course, it's also the first like logical one to check, since of course on this map you cannot spawn in the horizontal positions. Doohickey going for the Twilight Council once again behind the mineral line. Last time he did this, followed up immediately with a Dark Shrine. Don't know if he'll go for the same thing again, as it did get spotted and shut down pretty coldly last time. Mothership Core coming out here. The probe of AeiS will get in close enough to see the Twilight is being built, and that will likely set off some alarm bells that he's going to need detection. just in case he's going for the same thing. And there's a robotics facility coming this time around, which will certainly be done in plenty of time to get an observer out. Even if he doesn't go right for it, it will still be good. And it will be a dark shrine here for doohickey. Definitely a risky choice given that the Twilight was scouted and given that he's already used this type of play earlier on in the series. But you can still make a poke into Dark Templar and still kind of roll out into some sort of Archon play, which can be kind of interesting. He didn't in the game before, but there's definitely some opportunity to do that potentially this time around, as there will be an observer out. So the DTs, when they do come, probably won't be all that super effective here for doohickey. Although you can always end up catching things out of place. AeiS is putting down his proxy pylon. Proxy pylon, same time, coming down for doohickey over on the left-hand side of the map. With the single observer out, moves into Immortal Tech is AeiS, and the Dark Shrine about 10 seconds away from completion here, at which point I would imagine he's going to run. The last time he warped in one, but he had reason to believe that the Dark Shrine was completely spotted. This time, again, it will be just the single DT being warped in. It's always a trade-off to that. Just getting one limits the investment you've made. However, if you get in there and then you're like, oh, wow, he had no detection, then you've only got one in there and it's not as good. There is an observer up at the top that will spot this absolutely immediately. He tries to back out, force field coming down, catches that anyway. So the DT completely shut down here. Hallucinated Phoenix coming to take a look, sees what's going on, obviously knows what's behind the mineral line there. And Colossus Tech is the choice for AeiS here as he gets a second Immortal. Almost done. Expansion coming for both players is a little bit ahead for AeiS, as doohickey did delay that a fair bit. Now moving into the Robotech is doohickey, though, getting his Immortals out on his end of things. So it doesn't look like it will be transitioned directly into Archon or anything. And given the slightly later Nexus, that's probably a good call, as that's very gas intensive. So you'd need to be kind of getting that all the way to make any strong move into that. Hallucinate Phoenix, seeing what is going on. And a Warp Prism actually coming out for AeiS, so he could be looking to do some Immortal harassment while he gets his Colossus count actually up and running, which could be quite neat to see. It's a fairly decent map for it, and just particularly for vertical spawns, as you can kind of come in and find a place or two to drop to go after the infrastructure, or potentially the mineral line. A DT taking out this proxy pylon here by AeiS. And there is, oh, that's really interesting. We're going to have an actual Warp Prism with a hallucinated Warp Prism and hallucinated Void Ray coming across the map. Will the Void Ray even make it across the map before it runs out? That's really interesting, whatever is going on here. Maybe the Sentry should have come a little forward. The Warp Prism's definitely going to make it. Void Ray may get into vision, but it's going to like get into vision and then poof. Coming in, not actually getting any reaction, but the one up it. Okay, I get the idea behind this now. It's kind of clever. And then nice hallucinations with the Zealots. I really like this as a clever thing to do. It didn't ultimately get anything done, but he does still live with everything. It's a really cute idea, but maybe given that you're bringing the Warp Prisms anyway, maybe he could have hallucinated it more and closer to that actual base. But it was still a cute idea for anyone that didn't kind of catch it. He was looking to have those things coming to the natural, forcing the army down the ramp on the outside. Then the main drop would actually come in, force field out the force from the main base, at which point he would then hallucinate things into the main to distract the fact that really the only things doing any damage were sentries. So he did the hallucinations of the zealots to kind of tie things up. It was kind of cute, but it ultimately obviously didn't do a whole ton. But we have another cute drop play of a warp prism coming in full of a Colossus at the moment. And that could definitely be fun for going after workers here. Getting two immediately. And interesting warping coming. He's got the zealots down. The photon overcharge does go off. And he will get these zealots to try and chase things down as the warp prism takes off with the Colossus that has picked up its 2 kills. Behind this, of course, AeiS has taken his 3rd base, or at least is well underway to constructing that, going for range on the Colossus, going for charge on the zealots, which will help any of these future drops from doing a lot more damage. Another warp prism is being hallucinated, and it looks like he's going to be going down towards the main base there, or the natural base of Doohickey, who has actually put 2 immortals in a warp prism and are kind of carrying them forward. They catch that one hallucinated prism up front. And I guess the idea here with the warp prism, well, it will take a little bit of micro, is to drop them behind and pick off the Colossus that are no doubt going to be in the back. This actually is a fairly sizable army. If this is pulled off well, if the Immortals do actually get into the position they want to be. But he is attacking the Nexus and taking some free fire from the top, but he may decide to just target fire down. He does. He has no recall here, though, and he's not using that warp prism. This entire strategy is dependent 100% on this prism. Now moving them into place. He will drop them behind, but they're going after the hallucinated Colossus first and not taking out the 2 real ones that are there. They will get 1 immortal and a nice warp in to follow this up by Doohickey, but he could have gotten both Colossus absolutely for free. Does ultimately take them out, and he's now got 2 immortals without a very strong answer here from AeiS, having to pull probes here. Did have cannons in the mineral line. Another warp in, this one though coming with some stalkers to go after that mothership core. Will take it out of the air here as he kind of reestablishes a position. Charge lots though now getting in touch with those stalkers. The zealots trying to find a place to fight, and now we've kind of got zealot versus zealot warp ins. It looks like things are going back in AeiS's favor, but of course he did lose the 3rd base of the process. A DT being warped in by Doohickey is definitely going to help out here, but as the observer moves back into position, does clean it up, and both of them are going to be on just 2 bases for the time being here. Another zealot still trying to get a last kill, does not before it is actually cleaned up here. Doohickey doesn't kind of put a lot into that warp in that whole round of things and doesn't have a whole ton to fall back on. He's actually only at 37 probes. There's going to be hard for him to take a 3rd base from this position, and his economy really is quite a bit behind. AeiS coming in with a warp prism full of 4 zealots, but he's going to have trouble finding a place to actually land this. Photon overcharge going off, and will drive that one away past one of Doohickey's warp prisms that is sitting there. He's got to decide if he wants to mount up for some sort of all-in and go for it, or whether he wants to actually try and take a 3rd and continue on in this game. But as AeiS reestablishes his, he's going to be instantly able to populate that with probes, while very quickly the main bases of both players are going to end up mined out. AeiS is still expanding his production, and soon the warp-in on warp-in style of fighting is just going to be really one-sided in AeiS's favor after a little while, at least. Both of them are at +2 on the upgrades. However, +3 is underway. No, well, not only underway for AeiS, it's about 2/3 of the way done. Here, he's also adding on Storm, adding on Blink, whereas Doohickey is kind of... He has what he has, and he's probably got one last push in him if it can be executed really well. The attempted maneuvering last time with the Immortals was was good. It ultimately did end up getting the Colossus, but if he was able to start the fight that way by taking the 2 Colossus out immediately, then the rest of his army was going to do a whole lot better. Needed some detection coming with him, and this time around, he actually still doesn't have any with him. So maybe vulnerable to hallucination tricks, but one thing that you don't tend to build more of throughout the game is the sentries, so they have not really been replaced on AeiS' side of things, so the same trick is not going to be so much available. But AeiS now kind of launching a strange little cannon attack on the other side in the main base. He doesn't even really have to do anything about, like, this might be one of those things where you just let him do this. But he is now simultaneously attacking the 3rd. Huge storms going off on everything, even though they're not great against Archons. That many of them certainly are. Morphins of Archons here will clean up these Zealots. The 2 Immortals that were dropped in the back doing pretty well until they lose all their defense. And AeiS taking that one, trying to take that one in the whole series. 3-0 here, trying to end with a little bit of style with the, I guess, whatever that was, 17-minute cannon rush.